Hey everybody, welcome to the Full Circle Network. I'm editor-in-chief of FullCircleCinema.com, Jackson Hayes, and we're here to review episode 9 of Swamp Thing. Today I'll be joined by my managing editor, Marcos Melendez.
Hey, what's up, guys? We had a really good episode of Swamp Thing this week, and we also have Jacob Campbell.
Hey, what's everybody? It's Jacob Campbell here, lead news writer for Full Circle Cinema, and we got a great episode for you guys, so we're just going to jump right into it. Jackson?
Yep, so the episode this week was titled Anatomy Lesson, and it follows the cliffhanger from last week where Avery and Dr. Woodrow took Alec Holland Swamp Thing captive, and then we pick up where that left off. So, Marcos, why don't you give me your initial thoughts on the episode?
So, just jumping off from the last episode, that was very, 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 very disappointing.
Awful. It was very, very bad. Just say it.
It was just bad. And I think a lot of people agreed. This episode was just way better. It was like one of the best of the season so far. It's like everything just came to a head. We got a lot of traction, a lot of things moving. There was this. I told Jackson like off air. There was a sense of there's just a sense
urgency.
Like
you think you said urgency?
Yeah, urgency. There we go. There was a sense of urgency that hasn't been there for a very long time, for a few weeks now, and I just really enjoyed it. We got a lot for. I think my favorite part of the episode is probably going to be the Swamp Thing's arc and that twist at the end that I really enjoyed.
All right, Jacob. Same question to you.
I really like this episode. I will say I wasn't a fan of the lack of turtle soup. I was really hoping we're gonna get a little more of that, especially since the season's wrapping up. Bring back some fan favorites like some turtle soup.
I thought they'd wrap that up and we find out where the turtle soup went, who ate it.
Exactly. I'm wondering. Now here's my theory. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think that Avery also was gifted powers by the swamp, such as Alec was.
Big jump there, huh?
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, and here's how his powers work. Essentially, he can summon a turtle no matter where he is.
Okay.
All right.
No matter where he is.
All right.
Guess what? He's got a hankering for turtle soup. Bam, turtle appears right there. There.
So my thoughts. I think this was the best episode since probably episode 2. Those first 2 episodes were definitely the best of the series, and I think this is the best since then. We finally got Blue Devil, which might have been my favorite part. The twist at the end was obviously, incredibly, like, it made like one of those moments where it was like, wow, this is actually like worth my time and like worth watching, and this is like a big moment to pay attention to, and it's something really important for the series for one more episode because that's all we're gonna get. But
yep.
I mean, Blue Devil was awesome.
Wait, was it canceled? Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh
no!
I hate to hear it.
We weren't supposed to mention it, Marcos. How did we let it slip? He didn't know.
I don't know.
Gosh.
Oh,
hey,
no.
why did no one tell me this?
Oh God. Okay, yeah. So let's just jump into that twist. We'll start there at the end, just because of how major it was. Was the fact that Woodrow during the episode when he was working on Alec's body mentioned that Alec is not a man that's been turned into a plant, but rather a plant who thinks he's a man, and I think that clicked turned a bulb on in Alec's head to make him realize something that he probably didn't want to come to terms with, was that his body is still in the swamp. Alec Holland is dead. His consciousness was just absorbed by the green, is what it seems. And I'm not a comic expert, so Jacob, you'd have to enlighten me here. Is that how it works in the comics, or is this something they've done for the show?
Yeah, no, this is something how it works in the comics. So I think I mentioned in like one of the first 2 episodes we recorded. So originally when the first Swamp Thing came out, in the comics, it was Alec Holland was a man that became this plant monster type thing. But in more recent versions, they kind of rebooted it in a way. So it is just like the show. When Alec Holland died, the swamp absorbed his memories and created a body for those memories. So he is a plant that thinks he was a person.
And I feel like...
So it's exactly how they do it in the comics.
I feel like they've laid seeds for that, but nothing that I've caught on to make me, I guess, realize that throughout the series. But now that it's happened, it's kind of like, oh wow, that's like it's really well done how they pulled it off. Because the entire time Abby thinks she can get a cure, and in my mind, not knowing anything about the character, I'm like, yeah, she could find a cure. The spurs that let us see him as a human being made me believe that he's still in there somewhere, but that doesn't appear to be the case. So, Marcos, what were your thoughts?
So yeah, I think I'm gonna say that's probably my favorite moment from the episode. I think my favorite scene is probably when what his name? I always forget. Woodrow. He's taking out his organs. Is just realizing, these aren't human organs.
They don't work. They don't work
with his original body, probably. And probably the best part of that scene is also Derek Mears, who through that suit and I don't know how they're able to do an autopsy of the suit itself and have him in the suit and still be able to act fully was just so good. And I think that Derek Mears just nails this role so well. And even in those scenes where he's on the table, still can convey that emotion, that the reaction of like, okay, I'm not Alec Holland. I'm just a guy who has the memories of Alec Holland. And that kind of just, continues on to that moment in the very last scene in the episode, which kind of goes full circle to the poster that was initially released. So
an underrated part of that scene for sure was Crystal Reed's acting. When he pulls the body out and it appears she realizes the same thing that Alec has just realized. I mean, he had his theories, but they hadn't gone there to check, I guess, because they wouldn't think of it. So it comes out that like he is dead, like his body's there and he's not alive anymore. It's just his consciousness. There's no body to return to, because it's not a body covered in plants. Like he is a man, like that. He is the swamp now, and it's just like it was really heartbreaking in a really well acted moment.
Jacob, what do you think?
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for like an intro. Sorry.
It's called a conversation. You move organically.
I'm sorry.
I finish saying something.
Every other time you're like, "Hey, what did you think, Jacob?" I was waiting for that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I really like you said, the setup for it all, where there've been little hints here and there. Like even the episode where Swamp Thing is able to make himself look like Alec Holland, where it makes more sense than instead of like I don't know, changing himself into just a person itself, he has to make people think he is with the hallucinogenic spores. So instead of just becoming a person again, he had to change how he's perceived, when it would make a lot more sense if he is still a person. Why not just change himself back? So it does make sense now why that was the case, because he physically can't turn back into a person. He is a plant. He is the swamp. The acting was really great. I liked the realization of it as they're building up to it, where Woodrow reveals that you're a plant that thinks it's a person. It's really, I loved the scene altogether. The episode was just fantastic that way. It was great. What about you, Marcos?
Let me talk again. No, Jackson. I want to throw back to Jackson here.
Stop throwing it. Just start talking. I talked for a whole minute.
I'm going to throw it back to me on this one.
Okay, no, I think that's pretty much it for that moment in the episode. That was, that's the final twist, kind of the main thing of the episode itself. But we also mentioned earlier, we get the Blue Devil finally. I know Jackson has been waiting for it for a long time.
So much blue balls, pun intended.
Jackson, what do you think of it?
Yeah, so I mean, they finally gave us the reveal. They gave us like that iconic kind of shadow shot they do for a lot of creature reveals, where somebody turns into the creature in the shadow, and then you fully see them later. And we get the moment where he comes in the Phantom Stranger revealed himself to Daniel and said, "Hey, this is the future." Shows them Liz and Abby getting brutally murdered. It was really egregious. They were both shot in the head. There was blood everywhere. And then he's like, "Well, how do I stop this?" And he's like, "You need to become the Blue Devil." And he's like, "Well, no, that's just a character." And he's like, "No, you need to become the Blue Devil." And he goes in there and just slaughters them all. And you see the regret on his face after he transforms back, and he's in the pool of bodies. That he's like, "What did I just do? What happened to me?" And it was another great moment of realization. These people don't understand what's happening to them, and they're just confused by these transformations that they're going through. It really has that horror feel like that I know that they were going for in the first couple episodes.
Yeah, I really like as you said, the moment when he initially transforms, and then of course he has to save Abby and Liz, and I think that moment was really built up well. We got to see the Phantom Stranger again, who's kind of his role in everything is just very much teased. They haven't explained anything, and I doubt they will, unless we get the season 2, as Jacob's waiting for, right?
I swear they're making one. There's 3 more episodes. There's 4 more episodes left in the season. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Of course, bud. Of course.
Yeah.
They announced it was 13 episodes.
Okay.
But we'll let you review it for the channel.
I thought it was really weird they didn't talk about it at Comic-Con, but
you can review the last 3 by yourself.
Maybe they just ran out of time. I don't know.
Yeah. Then it, of course, continues on to when he actually gets in the action of actually using the Blue Devil powers. I thought it was a good scene. I will say that the VFX, it kind of limited it, and of course you could tell. But at the same time, I still enjoyed it very much. We got to look at his suit, almost like a complete shot of his suit. I don't think we have an HE image of it yet, but I thought it looked really good. And I'm going to assume there was a lot more planned for the rest of the season after this moment. This wasn't his only moment in the prophecy, whatever he promised with Phantom Stranger. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I felt like it kind of built up to this moment. It was actually worth it. And just like with a lot of things in this episode, all the build up finally went somewhere, and we kind of got a small little resolution for the next bit, even though we're not going to get a conclusion for this entire story anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm preparing for the worst next week in terms of, because of this is the episode that the infamous shutdown happened in, and they had to rewrite the entire episode, and I we've heard it ends in a cliffhanger from our insider sources have said it ends in a cliffhanger, and it's going to be bummed out when that it probably doesn't get realized ever again. The show just kind of ends on a big note, and if it was anywhere near as good as this cliffhanger, I'm going to be really bummed out.
Yeah.
Maybe here's what they're planning. They're gonna make it's actually Swamp Thing is canceled, but they're gonna announce a Blue Devil show. And what's gonna happen is it'll be about Blue Devil for most of it, and then Swamp Thing will show up in one scene in a very dark room, and we'll see him in like little patches of the shadows, and that'll be it. Wouldn't that be great?
What do you reference?
I think that'd be fantastic.
What kind of joke
yeah,
are you
but
making?
you can also have him in like
the whole
season.
how Blue Devil showed up in this episode.
Okay, yes.
We've been teased Blue Devil all season,
now I get it.
and we got him for one episode, and he's like in the dark, and he just shows up here and there.
It's a bummer because I guarantee they were setting up some final battle between Swamp Thing.
You know it.
And here's where we'll go from here is where it was this episode very clearly set up Floronic Man and a tease for Floronic Man in the very beginning with Woodrew's Alzheimer's ridden wife.
His wife.
Her dream was clearly a nod to him becoming Floronic Man in the future, and we're likely not to get it, or only get a glimpse of it maybe at the end of the next episode if they really ramp things up, because we're not there now. Although here's a theory. The episode ends with Woodrew's wife taking all of her Alzheimer's medication because she's actually lost her mind at this point. What if he goes in and attempts to use whatever the stuff he's taken from Alec and uses himself as a test subject at first? Right, he uses himself first before testing it on her, and then he ends up becoming Floronic Man that way.
It could be the cliffhanger.
That could be cool.
That could be the cliffhanger right
there. Okay, well, if that does happen, you guys heard it here first.
Yeah, honestly.
I like your idea. Like there could have been a big battle, like imagine Floronic Man versus Swamp Thing versus Blue Devil
versus the entire rot,
versus Avery Sunderland with a shotgun.
With it all, and him, he's just making turtles appear out of nowhere. Oh, he's just chucking turtles out. Oh my god!
We can't talk about the what did I named a segment. I forget. Marcos, do you remember what I named it about Avery's nonsense? Every week he has some. I can't recall. Well, we don't worry about it. I wish I remembered. But so he has this weird scene where he shows back up to reveal that he's still alive to Maria. I guess she's at some restaurant or something, and the way they put him into frame in the camera, it just like pans over and he's just standing there like really dramatically, and it was really weird. And then
there's no way she didn't see him walking
right,
up.
Also,
he was just standing right there.
In what world can you just take someone to a psychiatric? And I guess he said he had a favor from a judge to get a warrant. But like, come on, like what kind of backward,
I don't think that's how that works.
Town is this? Like,
it's not Puerto Rico.
Oh, jeez, Marcos, topical.
Welcome back to the political hour.
Yeah, but
Full Circle Cinema.
I thought that was the most like ridiculous part of the episode, which wasn't all that bad, so it was fine. It was just a little like out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, sure, take her to
No, the episode was so good where I was like, you know what, that's fine, Avery, you can do your thing. I was like, you know what, you do your thing.
There was also kind of a PSA in this episode, if I do say so myself, where Matt goes drunk driving and crashes randomly.
That was weird.
No.
You know what?
He didn't crash because he was drunk driving. He just crashed because he didn't have a good playlist going.
That's true. He had to fix his radio.
That's the real PSA.
So him and Abby's song could come on that he was dancing to her with her too. And then
plan out your playlist before you drive.
And then he just crashes right into that median. Man, he goes hard. I thought he was dead for a minute.
He should have flown out.
Yeah,
easily, for sure.
I thought he was gonna be dead, but he was just knocked out.
Now we're gonna jump into our new segment of the podcast. Jacob won't stop talking about Sandman. So in the comics, Matt actually, when he died, became a raven that worked for Sandman in the Sandman comics. And as you know, they're making a Sandman TV show, so who knows? Maybe we'll see some crossover there. What do you think, Marcos?
We definitely won't.
What do you think, Marcos?
This is my opinion here.
I'm going to throw it to you, Marcos.
I don't think so. I think there's very, 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 very small chance that even happens. And I think that show is gonna be overrated. It's gonna suck, and then Jacob's gonna be disappointed.
Listen, I think
and
Henderson Wade, as Marcus, Henderson is Marcus's Avery on this show. But my Avery is Avery.
Yeah, honestly.
But I think
He was fine in this
Henderson's
episode.
a
He was
fine
just-
actor. He's a lot better. He's a million times better on this show than he was on Riverdale because they completely butchered him in that show.
Yeah,
But they gave him a lot to do in this show. He has some good stuff. Like I bought his drunkenness. He was drunk, and I bought that he was drunk.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
That's not.
100%.
Come on, Avery's had some scenes where I definitely didn't buy whatever he was doing.
Yeah. I genuinely believed he couldn't find the right song. I really felt it.
Man, he was trying to jam out to his song that he
Yeah,
had with.
man.
Come on, he just found out that Avery's his dad. Come on.
So
If
when he
I
was
found
talking,
that out,
hold up.
if I found that out, I would have lost my mind.
So is Delroy the person that his mom was with that left him because of Avery? Is that what they were talking about?
No, what did you?
Because
I
the
don't
part
know.
where he's like, "You still miss her," when he was talking about his mom.
He was talking about his. He was talking about his wife, wasn't he?
His wife.
was he?
Yeah.
Oh shit! We're gonna cut that part out.
You sound like a
No,
moron.
that's no.
I was like,
that's leaving-
was that-
that's
Are
staying
you a
in.
loon?
I don't know, dude. We need to get a judge to get a warrant to throw me in jail.
Clearly.
Or crazy person.
Yeah, crazy person prison. That's what it's called.
All right. Well, I mean, there was a lot of. I mean, other than that, like there was just solid stuff all around. I mean, we barely got to the Abby stuff. I mean, she was bouncing around everywhere. She had her hand in all the subplots this week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Her
the
friend
scene-
is still kidnapped, but
The scene between her and wait, Liz got kidnapped.
No, the other friend.
Let's make it good.
The other friend.
What are you, a
Remember?
loon?
From the CDC. From the CDC.
Oh,
her other
yeah,
friend.
No, dude. He was just reassigned.
he was
Come
quote
on, dude.
unquote reassigned. That's true. Wait,
At 1
he
a.m.
was
in the
he was
morning.
kidnapped. Where is he?
Yeah, he's gone.
Did they murder him?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty sure he's dead, guys.
Did they murder him?
For all you Harlan fans out there,
Oh,
I'm
man,
pretty sure he's
bummed.
dead.
He had good taste in pizza that looked awful. I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
That
Like
was garbage pizza. That was such a small pizza. Like that was like he ordered an extra small,
it was
hoping
just-
she wasn't gonna be hungry or
was
something. He was just gonna have it for himself. It was just a weird.
I mean, she was already pretty drunk.
whole
so
thing.
It is what it is. But
Yeah.
all right. Well, any final thoughts before we get out of here, guys? We got one more episode. So I mean, any predictions or last feelings?
Let's think. I want to comment one thing about the Blue Devil thing. I don't know why. When he changed back, into like his human form, I genuinely didn't think they were going to do that because I'm pretty sure in the comics, Blue Devil can't change back. Like he's just always Blue Devil now. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'll look that up.
And I think that could have been like a cool thing to do too. That way he's like almost like he's Swamp Thing in himself, where he's this monster now. He can't become who he once was.
I think it's fine that you can turn back, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah,
kinda-
I mean,
that's
I'm
kinda-
just looking at the comics real quick.
It's kind of rude to Swamp Thing. Hey, Swamp Thing, you're stuck this monster, but you know what? I
But
can change
that's
back every now
not
and
even
then.
Alec calling at the end of the day.
He's like, and I can drive a car.
You can't crash this car.
All right. Well, I
Die.
think that's about it, guys. I think we can wrap it up here then.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are
Excited-
you guys' predictions for the next episode?
I asked you and you didn't
Next
answer,
episode
so
suck.
I moved on.
What do you mean?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's go.
Okay.
We might have someone on for the next. At least we might. We're
We
gonna
might
try
have-
for an interview.
Yeah, we're working for an interview. No,
We
no
are
promises.
getting the turtle from the Turtle Soup episode.
Yep.
He's
was a
an
stunt
amazing he's an amazing method actor. He really just throws himself into his work, and we're very excited to have him on.
Well, there you have it, guys. Marcos, where can the people find you?
You find me on Twitter at BizGamer9. Jacob, where can they find you? Just kidding.
You can find me on Twitter at JacobCamp13.
All right, cut that out. You can find me on Twitter at Jackson867. Make sure to follow the page at Full Circle Cine. You can follow us at FullCircleCinema.com for all your latest updates on movies and TV. Make sure to like this page, subscribe, comment, all those good things. And, we'll be back next week for the last episode.